Olga of Kiev buried her enemies alive and set cities ablaze. Considering her blood-soaked vengeance, her ultimate fate is one of the greatest surprises in all of history. No one knows exactly when Olga was born. Some say 890, others 925, but the mystery surrounding her origins only deepens the intrigue of her story. What we do know is this: her rise from obscurity to one of the most formidable rulers in Eastern Europe speaks volumes about her intelligence, cunning, and iron will. Olga was likely still in her teens when she married Prince Igor of Kiev, a union that placed her right in the center of a dynasty destined to shape an empire, Kievan Rus, the forebear of modern-day Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus. But this empire was anything but stable. After the death of Igor's regent, Oleg, tensions with neighboring tribes, especially the Drevlians, began to boil. The Drevlians had once paid tribute to Kievan Rus, but after Oleg's death, they refused. Prince Igor rode out to collect what he believed he was owed, and it would cost him his life. Initially, the Drevlians caved, handing over their tribute, but it wasn't enough for Igor. He returned to demand more, this time with a much smaller force. The Drevlians, fed up with his greed, executed him in an act of legendary brutality. According to Byzantine chronicler Leo the Deacon, they tied him to 2 bent trees, then let the trunks snap back, ripping him in half. With her husband savagely murdered, Olga assumed power, and the Drevlians had no idea what kind of queen they had just created. And what came next? A masterclass in medieval vengeance. First, the Drevlians sent emissaries to Olga, proposing she marry their prince. They believed her weak, manipulable, perhaps even desperate. She played along, smiling through her fury. She told them, "Your proposal is pleasing to me. Indeed, my husband cannot rise from the dead." Then, with serene calm, she invited them to return the next day to be honored before her court. But during the night, she had a massive trench dug. When the emissaries returned, they were carried in their boat to Olga's court, believing it a ceremonial honor. Then, in a moment as chilling as it was clever, Olga had the trench unveiled and ordered the men and their boat thrown in. As the dirt rained down, she asked, "Do you find this honor to your taste?" That was only revenge, round 1. Next, she requested the Drevlians send their most distinguished men, supposedly to help her finalize the marriage proposal. Unaware of the grisly fate of the first group, the Drevlians complied. Upon arrival, Olga welcomed them warmly and sent them to bathe. But once they were inside the bathhouse, her men locked the doors and set the building on fire. Not a single man escaped. Revenge. Round 2. Done. Still not satisfied, Olga travelled to the Drevlian capital under the guise of mourning her late husband. She asked for a grand funeral feast in his honor, and the Drevlians provided it. Once the wine flowed and the tribe's leaders were drunk and vulnerable, Olga gave the signal. Her soldiers rose from the feast and slaughtered over 5,000 guests on the spot. Revenge, round 3, complete. But Olga wasn't finished. She raised an army and laid siege to the Drevlian capital. For a year, the Drevlians held out, until their food supplies dwindled and desperation set in. Olga sent them a deceptively kind message, promising peace and asking only a simple tribute: 3 pigeons and 3 sparrows from every household. The Drevlians eagerly complied, thinking the worst was finally over. But Olga had one final trick. Her soldiers tied pieces of sulfur wrapped in cloth to each bird and set them alight. As night fell, the terrified birds returned to their nests, igniting every rooftop in the city. With the city in flames, the panicked Drevlians fled, only to be slaughtered or enslaved by Olga's forces. The revenge was complete, and then Olga changed. As regent for her young son, Olga ruled wisely and firmly, but in the 950s, she made a stunning decision. She traveled to Constantinople and converted to Christianity. She even had Emperor Constantine VII act as her baptismal sponsor, making it canonically impossible for him to marry her, despite his interest. In 969, gravely ill, Olga asked her son to stay by her side. He honored her final wish, allowing her a Christian funeral, even though he remained a pagan. Years later, it would be her grandson, Vladimir the Great, who fulfilled her long game. He made Christianity the official religion of Kievan Rus. Olga's life was a paradox, a blood-soaked warrior queen turned Christian saint. Nearly 600 years after her death, the Orthodox Church declared her a saint, granting her the rare and powerful title of equal to the apostles.